Yo guys, what's up? This is Sugi-Khan and thanks for joining me today on my Paragon First Impressions video. And Paragon is a third-person MOBA from Epic Games and is currently on PC and PS4. The game will be released somewhere around in 2016, but you can join the fun now by buying the Founders Package, which has three tiers, one for $20, one for $60, and one for $100. Each of the Founders packages give you access to the game, among other bonuses such as unlocking heroes immediately and Founder skins and other stuff. But let's talk about Paragon itself. So I played the game on its very earliest alphas, and back then the game was somewhat unoptimized and lacked a lot of cosmetic stuff. And for that reason, I wasn't superly impressed about it. I had a very mediocre thoughts about it, maybe a bit negative even. But now that I played it again on today's patch, I felt that the game was rather improved. They fixed a lot of the unoptimization issues. The game didn't no longer have any frame drops. It felt very smooth to play. I felt also they had to improve a lot of the graphical side of things, such as improving the shop and having all those item icons there, and just were much more appealing to look at and play at. And I think this was probably due to most of the feedback that they got. And I think from that side, one of the unique features about the game, which I already mentioned, is the item shop, which has a bit of a different system that other games have. So you have this card system, which is pretty much a loadout. We have everyone for each hero. You can choose your own deck, and each deck has these cards. And you have 6 like card slots in the game, which can be, they can have like these enchantments on them, and these enchantments can be like 200 mana, 200 health, and you can do different types of settings and decks you want. So there's customization elements inside the game, which is pretty cool. And what really makes Paragon a bit different from other third-person games on MOBAs is the level design. You have high ground and you have low ground, something that doesn't really exist or hasn't existed in games like Smite or other similar 3D MOBAs on the market, because there is some characters that have a lot of crowd control, and they can like push you backwards or throw you even off from a cliff, and that's a really huge tactical advantage because there's a very high ground, which means that you can't really jump back upwards unless you have such an ability with a certain character to do that. So there's a lot of a strategical element into the whole high ground, low ground type of a gameplay. And I think it's really cool. I also like the combat system and skills. It's really also graphically appealing to many. Some of the character designs I've been so far a bit mixed. I haven't tried them all. Some of them were overly simplistic, I see, in my opinion, whereas they weren't like super interesting to play, but they were like very, let's say, noob friendly, or something would be good to start with. A very basic, simple design, and then you had characters with more of a crowd control abilities and something that had a lot of strategical elements to it. So it's a kind of like a mixed roster with like simpler characters, and then you have more complex characters, which is kind of cool. And currently there is, I think, around 11 characters, but there's going to be one added every 3 weeks according to their website. I'm not sure how long they're going to keep up that schedule, but I think it's really cool because you also have a mix of humanoid characters. I don't really like games where you have only humans, so you have a different mix of different characters. You have more support elemented, you have melees, you have ranged. Can't comment too much about balance yet because I haven't really played enough games to give my take on that. But Paragon, I may have been a skeptic in the past, but now my thoughts have changed a bit. This is definitely a game that I'm looking to make more content out of and try it out and see where it goes. It definitely probably needs some tweaking on the speed of the game. I think in the beginning the games were really long. I think they did fix that a bit and it felt a bit more faster, but I still feel that some of the attack speeds are a bit too slow for my taste. But it might be just the characters that I tried out though, and there's of course always a possibility of tweaking those numbers, and there's other ways to make the game a bit faster, of course. But overall, I had a very nice experience with Paragon. There's already a bot games in the system, so once you get access, you have to play a few bot games, so you learn the game and don't actually get into multiplayer game without knowing anything about it. In terms of like basic elements of the game, you have this shrine type of a thing, so you have neutral objectives in the middle of the map which you can capture. You don't really have neutral creeps or anything like this in this game, so you don't have a jungle role in this game at all, which is somewhat, I would say, I somewhat feel this is kind of unique to do. I mean, originally like games like Dota didn't have jungles, but knowing that a lot of other games have tried to actually add a jungle or more of like neutral creeps, but in this game it's more about pushing and capturing those points in the middle of the jungle of the game. And I also like the map design also from the aspect that it's mirrored, so it's fully balanced from either side, doesn't matter which side you're playing from. And you know, the character designs from visual aspect look actually really cool. There's some interesting, I don't know much about the lore of it, but maybe something that I will be looking into in the future. Thanks for watching this video. I will be making a full length review of Paragon in the future and other videos about it definitely. And check out my other videos on my channel as well. Consider subscribing, liking and sharing, and if you're interested in trying out the game, I'm gonna put a link down below where you can buy the early access package. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Cheers.